This is the stuff dreams are made of. I'm writer-collector Ryan Gondel.
And I'm writer-collector Dave Mandel, and you're listening to the original movie prop collecting podcast brought to you by Heritage Auctions, HA.com. And that's what we're going to be talking all about today. The Cecil B. DeMille auction on the 15th coming up, and then followed by the 16th, 17th, and 18th big entertainment auction. And we'll be taking all your live questions, and we'll be talking about all sorts of stuff about Heritage. But how are you, Ryan? I've got one exciting thing to tell everyone about that is listening. And this is maybe a little hard to see, but I'm going to put it up anyway. As I was sitting getting ready for the show, helicopters started flying over my house.
Just
that
a
is
blank
not
screen,
coming
Dave.
through. I know. I'm trying to. We've got a fire. The Runyon fire has broken up. It's not showing. The top of Runyon Canyon, another fire. This luckily does not seem to be too windy at the moment, and they have beaten it back. But
No fire bullets.
helicopters, like fire guys, like all sorts of stuff, like sounds and stuff. It's been wild. They did beat it back, but I can honestly tell you, I walked into the house, and I asked my wife just to smother me with a pillow. I've just fucking had it.
Was it the end of Shawshank Redemption? You just fell to your knees and the top shot pulled out dramatically?
No, I just wanted to be chief. I wanted her to be chief to my Jack Nicholson in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and I just wanted her to put me out of my misery. This is no way to go on living. Yeah. So hi to everybody in the live chat. I saw
roll call in, announce yourselves, ask questions.
Look at that, David Brolin from Stockholm. What time is it in Stockholm, David? Just answer that question.
It's probably 10 p.m., right? It's an hour ahead, I would guess.
Is that you're an hour ahead of you? Is that right?
It's 9 p.m. in London presently.
All right. I feel like it's a different day. Someone was explaining to me, by the way, that like when Franco was in charge of Spain, he put Madrid like on the same time as London, even though Madrid is crazy west. So the sun is never in the right part of the sky. But I guess that's...
Yeah, but no, now I think Madrid is now an hour ahead. Lisbon is with us. Because if you go to Portugal, because we used to you could fly to either Portugal or to Madrid to get to Cáceres, which is what we used for King's Landing. And it was a 3-hour drive either way. But Portugal, you land in Lisbon, you have to drive basically 3 hours east. If you land in Madrid, you have to drive 3 hours west. But I think Cáceres is an hour ahead of London, so I think Madrid is now as well. I think they undid the
Franco era. Well,
Franco fascism.
A lot of pluses to fascist regimes, as we'll soon find out. How are you?
That's right, Dave. I actually also have something smoky tonight. It's a single cast nation whistle pig. Single cast. I was trying to find something on theme tonight, and we'll get to this. We'll get to why this is on theme, but it's distilled in Indiana.
Well, American whiskey,
and it's also cowboy whiskey. So I think it's sort of double on.
I think I see where this is going. I see the I believe I see the foreshadowing.
Me just getting progressively drunker throughout the live show,
but also why you've chosen it. I think the Western. I think I understand.
So cheers.
I see a shout out from South Carolina. Very cool. A bunch of usuals: Frank Berman, Steve Withers, Thomas Essen, Tangy, #1 Marvel fan. Who else am I missing? I can
Mr.
only
Brent Lilly, David Pisani, the Dutyville archivist.
Melissa. I see Melissa. Hi, Melissa. So thank you guys for joining us.
Very good.
Obviously, shout out Dan Gasson in New York. Shout out Dan. Did I just read that cool X-Wing article thing that you wrote? Put up a link to that so people can share in that. It was sort of a history of basically all the various model X-Wings, prop X-Wings that have sold in auction. It was very cool.
Oh, nice.
So that was very neat. Title text. Have you seen anyone do a good job of framing with a mock-up of the text that is in the font in front? Thomas, I have not seen that for poster art. I have seen it on comic art where people will do an overlay of a title or whatnot. And so there are definitely restorers that can do that. For whatever reason, it seems like poster collectors don't. obviously anyone can do whatever they want, but I have not seen that as much in the world of original poster art collecting. And certainly tonight we'll be talking about some of these incredible there's John Alvin posters, obviously the Peak posters. There's a Struzan or two, so really neat. Phil Bamberger from all the way an Oz collector, I believe.
So it's
Oz
tomorrow
in,
there.
You're in Australia, an Oz collector, or you collect the Wizard of Oz movies? I guess that's the real question.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I took
Oz
it as
collector or Oz collector.
Yeah.
And Dan is putting up the link in the chat. Oh, Denmark too. Very cool. Well, this is
great.
Exciting.
We're global tonight.
We are international. Dave. Very international.
Yeah. Still a bunch of white dudes, basically, but very international. Yeah.
International white dudes. Well, it's really what the internet is about. Phil Bamberger
speaking of white guys and fascism, Dave, I had a question for you. What do you think is more real, the studio auctions or the Epstein files? I was just curious.
I know Epstein existed. I know he was a real guy. So, who knows? I don't know if that helps answer the question. Curious if anybody is
giving the audience what they want.
Yeah, is looking at I should move to London with Ryan. That is true. That's very true. I should live in their guest house. Just be their Kramer, just to his family.
We call them carriage houses here.
Yes. Very nice. Very nice.
You're very welcome.
I'm curious from our audience, are people bidding on things in the studio auction? I got to be honest. A lot of I do think, by the way, I realize brought to you by Heritage. They have a whip. They have the stunt whip, which is real. Actually came, I think, originally from prop stores. So now we've mentioned every auction house in the world. But a lot of
Julian's also has an auction running.
Yeah, a lot of their stuff makes me nervous. And I got to be honest, there are things I see in other auctions that were previously in studio auctions, and those make me nervous too. So there you go, Frank Berman. The Superman crystals in that auction don't look authentic. I concur with that. By the way, there's a Superman costume. We're going to try and get Rob Klein on to talk about this. There's a Superman costume in an overseas auction that does not look right. I don't know if people have seen that Superman.
Yeah,
auction.
It was
Chris Reeve.
Yeah, I had not. You had sent me a link.
Not one I was familiar with, but does not look good. So
that's the fifth auction house that's not Heritage.
Exactly. Brought to you by AJ.com. Yeah. But let's dive in a little what's new in props, assuming you have a what's new in props, Ryan. Or was your booze your what's new in props?
Nope. No, I
like Melissa says very not right. Yeah. That is the understatement of the year. Yeah. Go for it. What is your
I'm loaded for bear tonight. No, Dave, I had sent you this article, and we can have Bart post this on the social feed. Maybe I can just be fancy here and post it right into the chat. But I had sent this to you, Dave. It's from the New Yorker.
Yes.
And it's called Remembrance of Scents Past. And the subhead in the article is that at museums, curators are incorporating smells that can transport visitors to a different time. And I was led to this because here, I'm putting it in the chat. I was led to this because, oh wow, that really was
what just happened. That does not look good.
That's not great. So we'll
so guys, just click on all three of those boxes.
Yes, and download the contents of your hard drive to my hard drive. No, we'll get this up.
Just
sorry about that.
Enter your social security number and click on that. It should be fine. Valerian the Dread. It works. Well, I can't tell if that's funny or not. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we need a tiny URL for that one. But we I was drawn to the article because it was something about why is scent so specifically as a scent is so specifically tied to memory and nostalgia and whatever. And this article is kind of getting into how museums and these kind of places of nostalgia are starting to exploit that and fill these places with maybe scents from another era, which would drive my wife absolutely insane, because not only is she a super smeller, but she's also very into the non-tox thing, and has thrown out all of my deodorant and my shampoo and all of the soaps, and labels need to be read. And apparently the number one sort of carcinogenic agent in these things is fragrances. So I'm going to send her this article and get her feedback on it. before she really kills all
two things
joy.
going on in this house, which is my son is in a phase, a young man's phase of experimenting with far too much cologne, and literally will like put it on in the morning before like basketball camp, and it is fucking insane. And then on the flip side, my daughter loves candles, and there is nothing I hate more than candles. The fire thing of it all, but all of those sort of like
Dave, you can't get away from fire.
But all of the scented candles drives me crazy. And Melissa, you're joking. Do they have old comic smell? These sort of, I don't know what the word is, these novelty sort of candle smells. You know what I mean? Which I think all basically smell the same, but do they drive me?
Yeah,
they
I mean,
drive me nuts.
I think there would be, Melissa. I think it would be like a comic shop smell or a comic show smell.
But it's like 80s movie theater with sticky floor. Like,
yeah,
is that what it is? Yeah.
The old buttered popcorn before they wasn't there a big thing when they had to like move on from canola oil until there was this whole like canola oil
the different smell of what buttered popcorn used to smell like,
what it
kind
used
of a thing.
should smell like, and fake butter versus real butter and all that. I mean, that's sort of what I went for. I immediately went, oh, that'd be interesting for my new collection room. The like, what should that smell like? And I would do like 1980s multiplex kind of thing.
It should smell like you talking on the phone to whoever's bidding for you on the auction. What does that smell like? Yeah.
Fear.
Yeah.
Flop sweat. Yeah. So that was my what's new in props. We'll post it properly on the social feed so you guys can check that out. It's a fascinating article. I mean, it's an interesting thing. We deal so heavily in nostalgia. It goes back to
nostalgia. Yes, I think that's the word. That is the word, nostalgia. And I do think it is. I guess for some people, the smell is. It's why we're buying these things. It's the same, I guess, the same nerve endings are kind of getting lit up. Memory. So I do understand it. I mean, we're joking about it, but I do understand it conceptually, I guess.
And props definitely do have a smell, but I don't think, for me, it's like having been a collector for over 15 years now, that's I guess I've come used to the smell of a real old prop or prop.
It is that thing of when we talk about when you see a prop in person and you kind of can just tell it's real, and it's always like, well, how do you know? And it's just like, it's hard. The smell is part of it. It's hard to answer the what and the why, but I think on some level, not that you're necessarily getting a specific, like, oh my God, I can smell the prop, but all of your senses are radiating something that tells you this is okay. Yeah.
Dave, you should train Hooper to be.
He's barking because the house is on fire. Leave him be. It's like it's cool. He only barks when the house is on fire.
No, I love his cameos, and I was just saying, dogs, particularly Hooper's breed, are so known for their great strong sense of smell. Maybe you could train Hooper to identify fake hoverboards.
Right. Fake clapperboards. Yeah. Oh God. Well, that is very fascinating, and I actually really enjoyed the article. So I recommend it to everybody. Take a read. We will post it, or maybe it is posted. Who knows?
Who knows?
I do. Jason, if you can put up that picture I emailed you. Bart is away on vacation. Hooper, by the way, Dave Pisani is named for Jaws. Hooper drives the boat, Chief. And very much so. If you can put that picture up, Jason, I think I sent it to you in an email that said new or what's new. I had a big display day yesterday, Saturday, July 12th. There you go. Look at that. So these are all
awesome.
Displays made by Tim Ralston, who is a prop guy out here, a fabricator and whatnot. And he's still working on things. I hope this isn't a secret. I think his shop is about to start on the Spaceballs sequel. But in between, when I can grab him, he will make displays. Ryan had a pulse rifle display that looks exactly like the one you're seeing here. And I had seen that before, I guess it was shipped out to him. So I sort of had one made for that. So as you can see, I had 9 made in total. The pulse rifle, the Tron disc, which is basically obviously a Frisbee, the Batarang, the Wolverine claws. That's a History of the World Part 1 Mel Brooks coin there. Behind that is the Mindhead license plate. That is my whatchamacallit, black hole robot, which I love. It's kind of floating a little bit up in the air there.
What's his name?
Which is it? Is it not Bob? Bob's old.
No.
Is he Herbie? No,
No.
Herbie's Fantastic Four. Well, Vincent. There you go.
Vincent. There you go.
Yep. Thank you, #1 Marvel fan. And a very nice display for my Raiders wall piece. That's my Raiders of the Lost Ark from the opening sequence. Where the darts are flying out of the eyes and whatnot. That's what that
awesome.
is there.
That's really
from the
cool.
set. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really and it's been laying flat, so it is really nice to just have it sort of standing up. And then the final piece, which I think I described a little bit, if you can kind of see it there, is the Return of the Jedi, one of the detonators from when they're down on the moon of Endor. And obviously this one did not have a magnetic top, but I kind of wanted it to sort of hang upside down because they kind of put it there. And so Tim got the lights working on it, #1, so you can't see that in this picture, but the batteries were corroded and there was a little bit of whatever, so he got the lights working again and then kind of created this thing. And you can see, if you look closely at the background, there's a little bit of that sort of Empire design on the flat part there, and that's actually removable, so I can go plain or not, and then the bunker bomb hangs upside down, which I'm actually very excited about. So yeah, I thought that would be kind of a cool sort of he figured it out. I came up with the idea, which is sort of a really fun way of doing it. So I thought that was kind of cool. So I'm very pleased. Yeah.
And it doubles the amount of things that you have to carry the next time you evacuate from.
Yes, exactly. But so these things will now go back into the display cases, but in a way that I think they can all be seen a lot better. So I'm actually quite happy about that as I continue to sort of dial in. And these are all, for me, these are very much, at least for the moment, keeper pieces. So I'm trying to do the things I think are interesting. So there you go. But should we dive into the catalogs and stuff and kind of just take people through things?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Like, you guys come with your questions. We have our categories, so we'll do our fun categories tonight. And any questions that you have, just fire it in.
Or tell us what you're thinking about bidding on or whatnot, if you're willing to share or whatnot, or if you have questions about stuff, and we'll try and answer.
Yeah. I just wanted to get into one thing sort of at the top, and this is in the Rosebud catalog. Jason, forgive me, I did not look up the lot number, so I'm looking it up right now. It's lot 89602. Give Jason a second to do his first search there. But there were a bunch of questions that came in via email and then sort of via the comment section on the Indie Whip, and sort of like, you guys did a video and you didn't bring up the match. Look, I mean, our position is that we don't see what they are seeing for the match, and we kind of challenged the logic that they were using. They're seeing something. I just don't think that it's the smoking gun that you need to call a whip a match. There were lots of whips. They were all made by the same guy. They have very similar qualities to them. You can't really do like shapes and silhouettes and shadows. The two whips that we know are matched have very, very distinct matches. And they're actually both, I believe, photo matches versus screen matches, because the stuff on screen moves so quickly. You don't really get a close-up look at it. So we kind of got lucky with these two because we had really good, photo match evidence on it. So look, we rendered our opinion. We sort of told them where we stood. They said our expert showed us this, and that. It didn't really change our opinion. That's kind of where we are. So
yeah, we didn't change. I don't think we changed their mind, but they didn't change our mind. And to be super clear about this, as we sort of said, maybe in the initial video, in the initial coverage of it, and then yes, I very pointedly we did not talk about it in the video. And I held it in my hands and I looked at it, and I will simply say, when I look at their photo match stuff, for anything that I see, quote unquote, that looks like a part of a photo match, I then see things that are not a photo match, that are not just like, yes, I'm not sure, but it's like, that is different. And so when I was holding it and going, I see that, but this is all completely different, that's what I saw. So let's go back to the main point, which is do your own research. If you are bidding on this because you believe it came from Temple of Doom and was given to Prince Charles. You are 1,000% correct.
Last Crusade.
And that I'm sorry, Last
Yeah.
Crusade. Sorry. And that is 1,000% correct, and that is 1,000% right. And we have no doubt about that. It is documented in a bunch of different places. It is 100% that. We believe this is one of the many whips that they got for Last Crusade. We're not quite sure how and where they were used. Some of them were on belts. Not quite sure, where or what this one was used, but we don't see the photo match. You can decide for yourself. You've got a couple of days, but I certainly, to me, I am 100% sure it was given to Prince Charles.
It's a great whip.
It's a wonderful, great whip.
It's actually the one that I have behind me. I would say this is a from the same generation. I think everything lines up to the one that I have behind me. It's a whip I love. I've had it for many years.
Yes.
I adore it.
There are a bunch of whips like this. I used to have a whip in my collection. I no longer have it. That was a whip that Harrison Ford had donated to a charity auction. It came with a Harrison Ford letter. It was exactly like this whip as well. These whips, they exist. There's no question about it. Just to be really, 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 really clear about this. But the photo were not enough to convince us. So take that as you will. Silhouette and shape. I don't know, like what? It's round. I don't know. I'm sorry, but yeah.
I mean, these were all they were all custom handmade, so they would have these little differences and all that. But we're looking for more of a fingerprint than that, unfortunately. Onto the fun stuff. We have our categories tonight. Do you want me to just
dive on in, and if people have other
call stuff out, we'll answer stuff as we go, so I always love starting with this, Dave, because you and I are not sophisticated collectors at all. What is the thing that you wish you were sophisticated enough to buy?
The piece that I ultimately came down to was actually a piece I got to see in person in Beverly Hills, and I don't always love repeating sort of things that we've talked about in other formats, but what the heck. 89085. This is the basically the studio coverage and letter from Carl Laemmle about the book Dracula, of like, should we option this? Should this be a movie? And I just thought this was such an incredible piece of by the way, you could almost say the entire Cecil B. DeMille catalog is where I wish we were more sophisticated. Am I not getting the numbers right?
If you just search Dracula, Jason, if you just search
maybe it was not a 9. I'm so sorry. Anyway, I've really done quite a job. But it's the Carl Laemmle Dracula letter. Anyway, I just thought, I know this is where we've really fucked things over. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe Laemmle, Laeml. I can't even spell his last name. There. Maybe that was it. That was it. Right back where you were. It's the documentation. So keep clicking through.
Sorry, okay. I'm an asshole. This is all me. This is not.
There it is. There it is. That's
there. It is. Bravo.
89085. No, I guess you had it right. I don't know. Maybe it was not.
Maybe there are 2 89085s. I don't know. Yeah.
Who knows?
Anyway, this to me is I really just was fascinated by it. I just love the real sense of the old studio story department, and obviously just they don't know at that moment of like, is Dracula a classic? They don't know, and I really kind of loved it. Like, is this a movie? It was so basic and just like
timeless.
Exactly, like film history. They're like, oh, it's not a video game. I don't think we should make it. It's not a video game.
We'll still be going on in 2031, presuming.
So I just thought this was really, really incredible. But the nature of what it is, it's paper. Not only is it paper, it's delicate paper. Like, there's just no world where I don't know, like I think this should be in my collection. It just too sophisticated. So there you go. How about you?
I went for a much more basic answer, Dave. I went for 89012, which is actually in the this probably gives it away. It's actually in a different catalog, Jason. It's in the Peak catalog. You just go there. That's the one right there. I wish I was sophisticated enough to be serious about bidding on the Apocalypse Now art. And like, I love that movie. John Milius is my favorite screenwriter. That's my favorite Vietnam movie. I mean, there's just so many things to be said about it. I probably watch this movie, once every 2 or 3 years, just because I'm so taken by it. And, I've referenced this movie in work that I've done, and continue to do. It's really important. And I just saw this and I was just like, yeah, where are the space toys? And I also think it's going to go completely
I
crazy
absolutely loved
bananas.
it. I will be watching on the off chance that everyone is
Yeah,
so scared by the numbers that, like, I don't know, nobody bids, but it's never going to happen. But I guess just at the end of the
I tend to agree.
day, for the money I think it's going to go for, as much as I love it, I think I'd rather have a poster up and something else. Although that being said, as we'll come back to later, I will talk about. I will certainly. I'm thinking about some of the other peak stuff that I just think are going to be hopefully a little more reasonable. I don't know what else to say other than that. I will say, while this is here, one of our categories that we always talk about is what our kids would love. And I think if it were up to my son, who I took to see Apocalypse Now last summer, my wife and I, we went to the big 70mm festival here. They, played Apocalypse Now. I think this would be his choice. Certainly,
Oh, wow. Okay.
as long as it could go in his room, he'd be very happy with this.
I like his film taste, Dave. Yeah. You're really cultivating quite a cinephile there. I'm really enjoyable. It gives me hope for his generation, which I was just assuming was just going to be.
He also just watches
TikToks.
He watches so much YouTube. There's no hope. But anyway, but he did. This would be his pick.
Yeah. My kids.
Brian, hold on real quick. I'm interrupting for 4 seconds. Is the Bat Phone from the TV series interests you? I have seen that piece about 1,000 times. I feel like that one from the Bat Car has sort of shown up a bunch.
It's come around.
Just not the one I want. I mean, I would think about one from the actual study, but or the one that was in Commissioner Gordon's office. But the one in the car, I guess ultimately it does sort of nothing for me. But clearly, by the way, it constantly is sort of, I guess, bought and then put back in auction. I don't know whether people are hoping they're getting a bargain and then can resell for a profit or what, but that is a prop that is much traveled in multiple auction houses. So I am actually, maybe dare I say, a little sick of it. So sorry about that. I'm sorry. What about your kids?
No, well, I was going to do kids, but I had one more sophisticated thing that I wanted to do just before we get off the category, and then I'll come back to my children. 89110. It's Jason. It's back in the main catalog. So 89110. This is the Victor Laszlo Passport.
Yes.
From Casablanca,
which we have also seen previously as well. Yeah,
but it's a passport from Casablanca.
I know, but one that you never quite really see it on the screen. I mean,
you don't see any of them.
Yeah, really. This. I mean, I know what you mean. Like, it's from Casablanca and we're ignoring it. And by the way, right across the way from it, 109 there is that Maltese Falcon script, which I also got to see in person at Heritage in Beverly Hills. I mean, these things are incredible. I just, they're not for us, I guess, at the end of the day. I don't know. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Do you want to finish up with the kids thing? Because we let's started accidentally.
So I have I have two answers. I have 89681 for my little one, who is just super into Mrs. Doubtfire. Just thinks it's the funniest movie she's ever seen. So I thought that they would really interest.
Will you please show her Tootsie? Will you please show her Tootsie?
I will. Actually, I will do that. I think
I hate this movie so much because I just feel it steals its best moves from Tootsie. Anyway, sorry. I'm gonna.
Very good.
It's my hill to die on. Yeah. Will you tell her that?
We always yell, "Hope is on the way, dear." We're always going at it. And then for my older one, a little more sophisticated in her genre taste, 89782. This is from, I think if you really put her to it, would be her favorite sort of quote unquote dad movie. It's the Penguin, the attack penguin from Batman Returns. She just freaking loves that movie. And the Catwoman of it all, but really enjoyed it. And I feel like I do need to get one of these things at some point. Just
it's so funny. I put this penguin on my how many times can I not buy this award? I mean, I have thought about buying a penguin probably in every auction going back 25 years. I like the movie a lot. I like the the unadulterated Tim Burton. I still obviously we've talked about this, the Michael Keaton of it all. I think Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman is just beyond perfect. I love these penguins. I don't know what they're so great. I think they display really well. You kind of know what they are instantly. The stripe on the missile just gives you a little bit of that Tim Burton like art,
the Burton
yep, exactly. And I cannot tell you how many times I have not bought one. I mean, it just, and again, it is also sometimes that thing of like it'll be early in an auction, you know what I mean? Like I know this one is more chronological, but sometimes it's early in an auction. I'm looking at something else. I don't know. I've never bought one. I have thought about it a million times, and it is very high on my how many times can I not buy it list. So yeah.
Very good. Very, very good. So what category should we do next here?
This one is sort of easy, I think, just because I'm guessing maybe we wrote the same thing down, and it's a little, maybe dare I say, even a little boring, which is the thing you can't believe exists. And I'm sorry, no matter how much we've talked about it, I had to put Rosebud. I mean, there's just no point in arguing anything else. Just the fact that all these years later, a third sled is showing itself. I don't know. It is terrific. Like the poster says, it's terrific. I love the story. I hope later this week, actually, you guys are going to get to hear. We have actually, by the way, we should mention this to everyone. If you're watching this live, we have 3 episodes coming out this week before the auction. So you're going to see a lot of updates. And then if you're watching this as part of the release, then a bunch of other episodes were released. And one of them is an interview. We got to sit down with Joe Dante, the owner, the famous film director, who's the owner of the Rosebud sled, and talk to him, which was fantastic on just a film fan level, but also obviously it's Rosebud. And he had a lot of great stories about it. I just can't get over it. I got to check out our videos at YouTube. I got to hold this thing. I got to stare at it up close. I mean, it is incredible. Someone else mentioned just throwing a sport bid on it. Yeah, I mean, you could be the high bidder for 5 seconds on Rosebud. And
there is a bid on it now.
Yeah, is there so 260 now or something?
Yeah.
But yeah, just unbelievably incredible. And just head shaking that it exists. I mean, not head shaking like doubtful. I mean, head shaking like just like mouth agape.
Awe
and
disbelief.
Yeah. Dave Pisani said he saw it in New York. I don't think the New York thing is still going on, but I know they had brought like 6 or 7 key props. They brought that. I think they brought the Apocalypse Now poster, among other things, to New York, which just looked amazing. And there is nothing like seeing these things in person. Anytime you can, and obviously we get an advantage. The bigger cities, New York, London, LA, I guess Tokyo, in terms of where they're bringing stuff. A little birdie by the code name Joe Maddalena told me they're going to be bringing some cool stuff to the national convention in Chicago, the big sports convention that's coming up. So for anyone that's in the Chicago area or into sports collectibles, they are bringing some things that are not sports collectibles
from this auction.
Very, very exciting.
From the
future. Interesting. So yeah, check that out. Some really cool prop stuff.
The year 2000
your way. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So anyway, this was, like I said, this was I can't believe it exists. So yeah.
Awesome. Best project, restoration, display, whatever. What's the best project for you in this?
Did you have a project? I wasn't I mean, the best project would be I guess trying to correct the photo match section of the Indie Whip. That's my project. It's sort of a kind of do-it-yourself catalog. It's funny. I went for one that I thought was maybe interesting because you can see what it can be, but it isn't, which is to say 89556 is the ET outfit that Gertie dresses ET up in. And as we pointed out in the video, this limited edition full figure ET does not come with the with the outfit. So if you were to win the hat, the stole, and the apron, it's really an apron, not a dress. You really would need to build your own display. And obviously, I think it would be possible to get a replica pearl necklace. And I guess you could decide if you wanted to do a wig. I think it would be worth doing a replica wig. I think a wig is kind of okay in my world of what can be a replica part, but you do need to either get yourself one of these. I think the display alone is like a $5,000 replica on the secondary market. They were limited edition.
Wow.
And sold out. And
who made these things?
I don't know the name of the company. And I think we pointed out this actually belongs to Greg Nicotero, not the costume, but they borrowed the ET from Greg Nicotero so that they could display it. But I do think this is one of those displays where I just think you kind of have to recreate something exactly like this. Although I do also think if you were able to do a custom one and could match that other face pose, the curiosity of the eyes pointed a little bit more and a little bit more of that closed mouth kind of like old lady kind of as opposed to this head, which is a little bit of wonderment. So I do think there's a project there to be done. Thomas Essen says, will you guys follow Joe Dante's lead and start featuring cameos of all your props in your upcoming film projects? Ryan has gone the other way, which is he's featuring props and then just adding them to his collection. So it's sort of the reverse of it's the Joe Dante reverse, but very smart. So I think that's it's working well. But
building ice to put it in the show and then possibly take them. My best project was 89593, and this isn't necessarily a project. I actually think they did a decent job with it. This was specific to me. I wanted the Arnold Running Man costume to go with my many Arnold sort of costume wear that I have in my collection. I feel like we can do a little bit of a better job with this, but just to make it, sort of fill out a
little bigger,
more Arnold. Yeah. And that to me would really make that particular costume, especially if you could get it into some kind of, and I'm not really into posy mannequins, but I just feel like this one you could get a little bit more of a sort of beginning astride or something. I don't want a full run because I think that would be a little bit silly.
The one thing you want to be careful about, I was about to say, because stretching. Of the material, which I haven't seen in person. I mean, I know what this is. I do worry about the stretching, or that if you put too much pressure on an elbow or a knee, that over time, I'm not saying that that's true. I just would be something I would be looking at. Funny enough,
given the spandexy kind of.
But I know what you mean. Just a little bit bigger, I guess. You want it more to be, you want it to be a little bit bigger than like the Yaphet Kotto and the Marvin L. McIntyre to the left. Funny enough, I also put this under the how many times can I not buy this award, because it's not specific to the Arnold, although the Arnold is included. Just Running Man is a movie I have loved. I have owned that. I think I owned Running Man. It's up there for movies that I've had on more different forms of media. I believe I had Betamax, multiple VHS, Laserdisc, regular DVD, then like special DVD, whatever. I love the movie, and I've just never quite, bitten at the apple. And I'm even looking forward to the new one coming out this I don't know when, February, next summer, I don't know when.
This year, I think.
Okay.
I think that before the end of the year. Filmed at Warner Brothers Leaveson Studios. They were neighbors.
Edgar Wright, right? It's him directing and maybe writing too, I'm not sure.
Yes.
So anyway, I do love this though. I do really, really like it, and it's distinct. Like I know when I see this, I know what it is, and I think
very specific.
Yeah, it really, and that to me, that's a movie that holds up. So wherever that fits into,
indeed,
yeah.
What's your most insane Star Wars prop?
Well, it's a real favorite of mine. 89518. It's the Jabba drinking cup. I really just love.
Do you have one of these?
I don't. I just love the trouble. I just love. I mean, it's that level of detail that only like a great prop person does do, which is obviously, as I sort of have jokingly said, you can't just put like a Pottery Barn glass there. And obviously someone was like, we got to make plates and cups and whatnot. And they did. And they're very rough hewn and they kind of look
Yeah.
like, Jabba would have drank from it or something, or that you like put it in a bucket to get something out. And I just, I just got a real kick out of it. Yeah. So that
I
was
went for the
mine.
thing on the next page, I think, Jason. This one, the 89, I guess 521, the George Lucas Skywalker Development Company Luminaire Houston Redevelopment Archive. It just seemed like a very specific thing to keep. I just enjoyed that it was this whole kind of like pitch proposal for essentially a Lucasfilm location, and the fact that this company is so beloved that this is an actual lot in an auction catalog.
That somebody would buy like rejected plans for downtown Houston or something. Yeah,
correct. What other film company would this have even made the auction catalog for? I just really enjoyed that.
David Brolin is saying this is a Flash Gordon prop from the beginning. Is it really? Was it a reuse? I mean, honestly, apparently reused, not made for it. That's hilarious. Not sure how you would know. Well, I don't think you would know, but I think at $1,000, maybe it's okay. But
maybe that's
fascinating. Yeah. But that is fascinating. Again, some of those other pieces, we've seen them before. I think they're interesting. I'm not sure that there's anything I need to have is, I guess, my other way of sort of saying it. Frank Berman is asking about the X-Wing. Go back a little bit, if you don't mind.
Couple pages back.
Couple pages back. No, maybe not. It was in that forward, I guess. Forward. Keep going. There's there's a full X-Wing. Keep going.
The page before this one. Yeah. Previous.
We're so terrible at this.
Previous. No, that we're in the prequels. You got to go the other way, Jason.
Hold on, people. This is the wonder of live. There we go. The one that I liked years ago was the one that had a little bit where they had put the lights into it. All of these model ones, I think they're cool. I think they're interesting. For me, you just don't 100% know where or what they used it for.
Yeah, where or what.
Or if they used it or when.
It's an off-the-shelf X-Wing with good provenance, good standing, all that. But
and really, and nice paint job. It looks like they did a decent job on it. So I'm not doubting it. I think that's what I would put in my mind as I was calculating the price. And I'm not quite sure I'm there in terms of the price. That's me. I'm sorry. So take it as you will. That Kenobi lightsaber is assembled wrong, by the way. Emitter is upside down. I think that's a quiz. It's like a trick. It's like when you write in the middle of a big paper for your history teacher, check here if you're still reading. The joke being that no one is paying any attention to the prequels, I think, except you, Melissa. Sorry. But I was asking about the wing. Oh, the wing, just the single piece of the broken wing. I'm sorry. That seems pretty okay. I used to have
pyro piece.
I used to have pyro pieces and was slowly trying to put it together. Needless to say, I sold it off. Thank you, Melissa. I sold that off when I upgraded, if you will. But this is probably something I would have been going after. You know what? Every now and then I convince myself to rewatch those prequels, and they are just terrible. I also read a lot of articles. There's a big article kind of floating around Facebook lately that I think people probably have seen. It's all about the changes that were made to the final prequel, about changing the what and how of like Anakin's sort of like how he kind of goes evil. And it is just a study in banality of like a terrible reason changed to an equally terrible reason for a movie that lacks just any like almost my own theory has always been like, having set up a movie about the prequels, he kind of fell in love with Anakin and just had a trouble turning him evil. Like could not just let him be evil. And it's a flaw to the entire three movies. If you were making those movies with any sense of like dramatic structure, then Anakin would have been secretly evil by the end of the first one, or maybe the middle, let's say, of the second one, and then publicly evil by the beginning of the third. But it would have been a study in his descent, if you will, instead of just avoiding it, and then having it
trying to make it
at the end
sympathetic,
there.
which is the
So
worst
yeah.
thing you could possibly. Yeah, it's
Yes,
just
exactly. Yeah.
overly like cloyingly sympathetic. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's the whole thing. Like they took the greatest villain in movie history and turned him into the most boring character that you had to suffer through
Yeah.
3 movies.
I
Kind of
truly,
each of which is worse than the one that preceded it. So
yeah, I really hate them, and I just I look, again, this is the bias, so you take it as you will. I have no patience for the props at this point. I mean, I dangle, I dipped my toe in a little bit back in the day, just because, like everybody else, oh, it's Star Wars, and now I have no interest, and I could not be more bored when I get to that
a
section of
revulsion
every
to them.
catalog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And by the way, just the sheer number of these lightsabers that I just don't give a shit about. So anyway,
Yeah.
take it as you will here at the Stuff Dreams Are Made Of.
What's the best
what else?
small thing in this catalog for you, Dave, that price wise, sort of like fun little things that, that maybe great things from good movies, good things from great movies, that sort of stuff.
Well, not counting the Flash Gordon Return of the Jedi mug, I went, which will maybe not surprise folks, is I went for a piece of art. So I went for 89137, which is a tiny collection of Mentor Hubner storyboards, but it has a couple of North by Northwest storyboards in it. And I thought that was just really, really excellent. I don't know the other movie that they're referencing. I would be buying it for the North by Northwest. Starting bid of $500. I'll be very surprised if there's a lot of demand for it, although you never know. But I did think it was really cool, and I thought it would frame up really nicely, and it would just it would look really simple, and in terms of North by Northwest, just a tough, I'd love to have a Roger O. Thornhill business card, but other than that, I can't think of a lot. Maybe if there's somewhere, maybe there's a rough of the some of the Mount Rushmores, like a small rough, maybe that exists somewhere. Obviously they have one of the big ones at the museum, the Academy Museum, although it's no longer on display right now. Anyway, North by Northwest, I went there. How about you?
I went to 89680, which is Gary Oldman's sunglasses from Dracula.
We were just on this page. Yep.
Yeah, this was a super neat piece.
And very memorable. Super memorable. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, very I knew exactly what those were before I looked at the little inset image, and I enjoy that. I enjoy that film. It's Coppola. I think it's very cool. I very much enjoy Gary Oldman and Keanu Reeves. I just thought it was really cool, and clearly sort of made for the film too, which I really enjoyed. Some of these things are kind of off the shelf. This one was clearly designed, for the movie. The blue lenses, all that, just very unique.
Forgive me for not remembering the name, but it's that wonderful, just the Japanese costume designer who just went crazy on this movie in a wonderful way. I don't have anything from Bram Stoker's Dracula. I am lucky enough. I have a couple of pieces by Mike Mignola that he did for the comics adaptation. He worked on the movie and then did the comics adaptation for Topps Comics, which I think has been collected somewhat recently. And I have some pieces from that, which I really do love. So very close to a prop. Balerian the Dread said, love the attention to props and production design in Andor. You know what was one of my favorite things in Andor, which I guess falls under production design? I love the way they use some just regular straight old London locations and change them. I don't know what they were like, part of the Tate Modern, I think, and they just took
the Barbican.
The Barbican Center. They took some real locations and just did a very little to them to really make them seem like something. And I just thought it was ingenious. It was it was not something when I was watching it. It was not anything that pulled me out of watching it. But after the fact, as I was reading different things or looking at things, and people would go like, here's this, and now here's what it really is. I just thought it was one of the more cooler things. It's part of, I think it was that some of that real worldness is part of why I liked it as I did. So wherever that fits in. So yeah.
I would go. I went next to this because I just wanted to tell a little story and I didn't know where to do it. 89752. I just enjoyed this piece. It's actually a movie I quite like. I believe this was Brando's last role. The score
Yeah,
Uh,
fun movie, the
uh,
robbery heist movie. Yeah.
yeah, with De Niro. He's like De Niro's
De
handler in
Niro
it.
and Ed Norton, who
Yes.
is a real just method coming out of every orifice, the whole movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and just kind of a brilliant heist and a brilliant sort of gag to the heist, and it's worth watching if you haven't seen it. I just enjoyed this director's chair because it reminded me of the story that someone told me that Brando was rather large at this point in his career, and he didn't want to look bad on camera, so he wanted everybody shooting him from the waist up. So apparently, he just turned up to set every day without wearing pants because he wanted to force the director to shoot him the way he wanted to be shot. And I just really enjoyed that. So.
Pointed out the director Frank Oz, which I think it's a
Yeah,
very, very fun
Yoda.
heist movie. I always love the way they actually open the safe with the whole water
Yeah,
pressure gag.
yeah.
Jump to 89537. Mr. Brent Tilley is asking, what's a good number for that Red Dawn poster art? I mean, I think it's a very good question. Obviously, the $500 starting bid is wonderfully low. It's John Alvin. You know, it's an interesting piece because obviously it doesn't have the title on it, which lets you know what it is. It doesn't have, you see some of the parachuters, right? Those are the invaders, but it's not crying out like with a key image. And yet it is obviously, for those of us that love that movie, it's sort of representative. I would think, I guess what I would say is, I think anything under 10, like 75, 65, anything like in that area is right. And anything below it is a bargain to me. That's my sense of it. But
yeah, I'd agree.
You know,
I mean, look, it's a finished John Alvin painting for a released movie that has kind of cult relevance. I would say, I would take that all into consideration. And if you love Red Dawn, that's your piece.
Yeah.
Get it.
Let it turn to something else.
Yeah.
Turn to something else.
Exactly.
So, yeah, but I do think in this case, Mr. Brent Tilley, the lack of a title, the lack of, the 4 or 5 stars of Patrick Swayze's face being on it really big or whatever is playing into your hands. Similarly to the way that I think the My Favorite Year poster is wonderful, but because of the design with all that blank space for credits, it's just not. I love that movie as well, but it just it's a strange image. It's not a fun piece to put on your wall with all that empty space, I guess I would say. So maybe back to actually trying to recreate some of those credits for those reasons. So yeah.
Yeah.
Where else? What's next? What do we got?
What's the worst Prometheus piece? I looked around. I didn't have it.
There was nothing from it. I went to my fallback, which is 89706. The Bicentennial Man, which is a movie I've made clear how much I fucking hate this movie, how creepy it is. And
you really hate Robin Williams. That's what we've learned.
I love Robin Williams. I don't like him in a lot of these movies, and this movie in particular I find super creepy. And well, I guess what really does bother me is, again, I feel like there has not been an auction since 1999 that hasn't had Bicentennial Man pieces in it. I can only assume the numbers keep coming down. This one's at $2,000. I just don't want it. No, thank you. We're not home. I don't know what else to say. So
what other things would you never buy in this auction? Moving on to the next category.
I made a little joke here of what I would never buy, and it's sort of more of the how many times can I not buy this award. But at this point, I think it's very clear that I will never buy an Edith Head costume drawing. I just, like, for whatever reason, it's just like at some point, I don't know what it is.
But not because you hate her.
No, I love her. I love it all. I think it's almost like there's so many, and in some cases multiple ones from whatever, that at some point I'm just like, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know which one, and I just will never do it. But they're all great. They're all incredible. Maybe someday someone will give me one as a birthday gift. But a number one Marvel fan goes higher. He thinks 18 to 22. I will happily be wrong, number one Marvel fan. I guess we'll see, I guess, is the honest answer. I also wonder, in an auction with so many powerhouse pieces of poster art, if people are distracted, but we'll see who's right. And you probably are. The Han Solo gun company being bought by Golden. We talked a little bit about this, the studio auctions being acquired by Golden. It sort of came very quickly after the Han Solo gun debacle. I've got no answer. It's a strange, just seems like it's just a strange choice.
All very strange.
Yeah. And we'll leave it at that. So we'll leave it at that. What was your did you have anything for
Yeah,
Prometheus?
89504 through 89506. Any kind of you can even jump onto the next page, which may be more clear as what I'm talking about. Any Rocky shit, Dave.
You're
I'm just
done?
over. I hate
Done?
Rocky. I think Stallone's an asshole. I think he's proven himself an asshole in sort of every venue that possible. He's an unpleasant person, and though these are from the sequels, I suppose technically, even if he did rip off Rocky 1, I guess he would not have been able to rip off the sequels to the movie he ripped off. But I just think this whole thing is sullied, and I don't want Rambo shit either, which is also later in the catalog.
I'm only interested in Clubber Lang merchandise from Rocky 3. Yeah,
I'm down with that. And Apollo Creed, the great.
And we always love the King of Sting. We took my wife and I, my son. We went and saw Raging Bull last week at the with Kelvin. Actually, Kelvin joined us as well at the Egyptian.
Your other son.
Yes, apparently, I guess there's some big boxing match. Like the first time, like women are headlining a boxing card, so they're showing Girl Fight, and they're also showing whatever that movie. What's her name? The Clint Eastwood one with what's her name? I can't think of her name.
Sandra Locke.
No, she was in the Karate Kid, the fourth. Hilary Swank, thank you, my darling.
Hilary
Swank one, which Million Dollar Baby. So they're showing those two, but then they also sort of are showing the first Creed, and they had Raging Bull on the big screen. And we went and saw Raging Bull, which is even more brutal than you remember, and just incredible movie. And then sort of had a little talk afterwards with my son about sort of Raging Bull as the anti-Rocky, I guess, to some extent.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was the topic of of discussion.
Did you talk to your son about what a scumbag Sylvester Stallone is?
It didn't come up, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
All right,
yeah.
Good. Things that would piss off your wife the most.
The funny thing is,
and brought it home.
It's the same. My answer to piss her off the most, yet secretly love. And it's 89551, the yellow Citroen from For Your Eyes Only. She lose her mind, but then kind of like it later on. So
like
it's
respect
kind of
you a little bit later. Yeah.
I don't know about respect. I'm not sure there'll ever be the respect, but I think she would enjoy like sort of. I think if you could drive it, like doesn't want it in the living room, but if you could actually drive it, like I'm not sure how much work you'd have to do to get it driving, but if you could drive it. It would be sort of a fun little sort of neighborhood car kind of a thing. So that was kind of both. Yeah. How about you?
I went 89697. This is the rock pair of Situation Room and Tactical Maps of San Francisco and Alcatraz.
You don't want that in your living room? No?
I think that would be a difficult sell. And then I jumped right down to sort of cherry on top at 89927. I went with the life-size Jar Jar Binks Pepsi promotional display.
Is that for the thing she would secretly love? That she would secretly
love?
I
would say, look, Jar Jar's planning the heist of Alcatraz. Isn't that cool?
He looks like he's it's like an Adam Sandler thing. You know, it's that. That's what it looks like he's doing with his hands. Yeah,
multiple doors slamming in my house. Yes, just disgust in general. But pieces that my wife would
secretly love. Anything she would secretly love.
Yes, all the Audrey Hepburn pieces.
Sure,
there's some really great Audrey Hepburn actual like owned and worn, and I particularly went to the sunglasses. Apologies, Jason. I did not write down the lot on those, but there's a set of
after this section. If you go forward, you'll hit it.
If you just do Audrey sunglasses, you'll get there. There's a pair of actual like Audrey owned and worn sunglasses that kind of match her the one she wore in Charade. It's the same.
Oh, okay, but they're not. Are they specifically? Are they saying they're not? But they're not saying from the movie, or are they saying? From
I don't think they can attribute them to the movie, but look at it. It's that pair of sunglasses.
Sure.
Maybe she had other pairs given to her. It says her name on the case. I just really like those. I think she would actually kind of dig that. It was like, here's Audrey Hepburn sunglasses. I think that's cool. Like,
if they were around
to wear those,
if it's $500, I mean, isn't that what a really good pair of
sunglasses
kind of costs? Oh, okay, never mind. Then pass. But I mean, $500 for a pair of sunglasses seems, unfortunately, what fancy
Yes.
sunglasses
Are these days.
yeah.
Exactly.
Melissa, it's very interesting that you bring up Alf, because I picked that out, 89371, as what I wanted to buy Ryan to go. But I wanted the Alf to wear the Captain Kirk away suit. So it's a very,
okay.
it's very, and with that exact pose. You are not allowed
Yeah.
to change the pose. So it's
The Alfred E. Newman what me worry.
It's that
Yeah.
in the Captain Kirk. So yeah,
Really good.
Yeah, I actually liked Alf, but I don't want this.
I liked Alf.
Yeah.
Dave, I had a bunch of things I wanted to buy you. For 89066. This is one of your favorite books. This is Ayn Rand's first edition of The Fountainhead, signed and inscribed to fellow hyper-conservative Cecil B. DeMille. I thought you'd really enjoy that. And then to kind of salve you a little bit, because I knew you would like it, 89552.
Man, if I had a signed copy of Ayn Rand's Fountainhead, I am pretty sure I could get Peter Thiel in bed. I'm pretty sure. So, yeah.
You could just lure him in. Just come hither. And if that didn't work, Dave, you could use your 89552, which the stipulation here is this has to hang in your living room after I buy this for you. It's the history of the world, Mel Brooks. It's good to be the king. It's great to be the king. In the God knows what this was even.
They did not identify it. They sort of said it was like a publicity thing that they didn't use or something. I actually did look at this piece for about half a second. I do love that movie. Obviously, I'm not buying this piece, but I did wonder. This struck me as like, did someone do this for like Playboy magazine, circa, you know what I mean, like 1980, whatever, 1981?
Yeah.
Because it has kind of like,
it does have
it's a movie tie-in, but it's got boobs. Like it felt very Playboy. Like they used to have like naked James Bond background actresses, kind of a thing. Like,
yeah,
but like still kind of classy. That's what I wondered. So yeah, 1980. Yeah. So yeah. Well, thank you.
And then just perhaps a smaller item that could pass with the family a little bit better. I had 89559. This is just a little fun thing that I thought you'd really enjoy. It's Gregory Peck's California driver's license.
I do kind of like that. I like his mustache, if nothing else.
Yeah.
It'd be very funny to have that in your wallet and then like accidentally hand it to a cop. No, I'm sorry. Here's my.
That's it. Sorry. And then 89803, just because I know how much you love this movie and particularly love this prop. It's a Thor hammer from Thor the Dark World.
I hope it's from Dark World. I hope it's from the second one.
It is.
And I hope it's with light usage, I hope.
The only Thor hammer that I would ever buy you is from Thor the Dark World.
Too funny. Where else are we going?
What's the weirdest thing that you found in this particular auction?
Oh, I actually had a very specific answer for this. 89328. It is the wax Rosemary's baby head. I don't know what or why, but that creeps me out. I guess those are devil eyes on it. I'm not sure. Yeah. Just creeped me out big time.
Yeah, I'm creeped out from here.
Yeah. Just really, really, really horrific. So yeah. So
I went 892. I had two things. I went first 89237. This is a collection of Terry Southern's smoking related items.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. And then I went to 89776 because I just think that this is like this is what that guy, what was his name? Chris from To Catch a Predator. What was his last name? This is the kind of thing that he just used. Like whoever bids and wins this thing, they should probably just follow. The FBI should just follow you to your house because there's going to be something going on there.
Is there any bid action on it yet?
The Jenna Ortega life-size figure display, and I just wanted to know like who is buying this and why, and it just bothered me, the whole existence of this thing, and then who might buy it. And
this ever so slightly reminds me of one of those like prop things where like the left shoe is a real prop, but they've built the rest of it like as a display for the one shoe that is real. But anyway,
right.
But no, a little disturbing, a little bit. Not
just creep factor.
Yeah. So, anyway,
Things you used to own, Dave. Anything in the auction?
Nothing for me, or nothing that I remember.
Interesting.
Yeah, or I've blacked out completely, but nothing that jumped out at me. Usually there's something, but no, nothing that hit me. How about you, Ryan? Is there anything that you used to own in this auction?
Well, Dave,
Please
thanks
tell
for
us.
asking.
Yes. Yeah, sure.
89682. The greatest pistol from the greatest Western of all time, my Tombstone pistol. Look at that. Look at that. What a beautiful little layout.
This piece is so fucking good, and I loved the video they made. I think we posted it. I actually did think I thought Heritage is going all out for you on this.
They really went for it.
Yeah.
And I had mentioned to you they pushed it out to their Western collectors in a specific email, just saying, hey, look at this curio from over in the movie entertainment side. And it wrote a specific, and I think that video was actually geared at the Western collector community more than the sort of movie collector community. And I had been tracking the lot. The page views like tripled that afternoon. It was pretty crazy. So there was a pretty good response to it. It's already got some bids on it. It's very exciting. I hope it does well. I really hope it finds a good new home somewhere. At some point, I don't know if I ever told this on the podcast, but at some point, somebody that I know knew somebody that knew Kurt Russell. It was like that sort of thing.
Okay.
And had mentioned through this person to Kurt, like, hey, I know somebody has your gun from Tombstone. And he sort of said back, hey, I want that thing back. And I think he has one. I mean, the story was, I was told he took one home. I imagine he still has it. My guess is that he was doing the, hey, I want the other one kind of thing. But I was always just charmed by that. And I would love to find out after this that Kurt Russell put his money where his mustache was. And
that would be pretty amazing if like Goldie Hawn bought it for him as like an anniversary gift of some sort or something like that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, she's been heavy bidding on Gregory Peck's California driver's license.
So well, it means a lot to her. It means a lot to her. She's a big Bicentennial Man fan. You know what I would buy? This is apropos of nothing, but they have a Robin Williams Mork outfit. I'd buy the Mork outfit. So I do not hate Robin Williams. I would buy the Mork outfit in a second. You don't have to find it, but you're welcome to find it. But
should we bring up
it is, the full rainbow outfit. I'd buy that. I'd buy that in 4 seconds. I would love to own that. So,
should we pull up the stuff from Hook, or should we just move on?
God, do I hate that movie too?
All right, Dave, let's bring it home. What things should we actually be buying in this auction?
I thought I put 2 down that, by the way, I'm probably not going to bid on, but I keep telling myself I should at least keep an eye on them.
You're supposed to pick things that I'm supposed to.
Oh, well, then you should buy these 2. Ready?
Okay.
One is 89573, which is the Back to the Future costume drawings. I just think these are really cool. And I kind of love that they're not, obviously Michael J. Fox wasn't even the original casting. So they're not Michael J. Fox specific. If you go back one, you can see the Michael J. Fox one. And if you go forward, they have from the Marvin Berry and whatever they are. There's the Marvin Berry one, 8, 9, 6, whatever up there in the top. I just think they're really neat. In a world of hoverboards, this is a first movie piece, but that brings you into the first movie in a great way, which is a tougher movie. I mean, it is very costume specific. It's a little less prop heavy. Obviously, there's the time machine, but it's harder to find the right things from this movie. I just thought these were really, really cool. I know you like the movie. I don't know if you love the movie enough, but I did think this was really cool.
I really want something from Back to the Future, but only the first one. So
and then the other piece that I thought you would really enjoy having, although you don't truly need it, but it would be great if you got it, was 89469. And it's the Akira Kurosawa viewfinder that just to have, I just thought having that like on your desk, or even if you're like on a scout and you go say to like, you turn to your like director or whatever and go, let me just pull out Akira Kurosawa's viewfinder and see what the shot looks like on like the House of the Dragon set. That would be the fucking coolest thing in the world. So anyway, I just thought it would be less prop specific and just more kind of fucking cool. So wherever that is.
That's very good. Nightflower is asking if I can give a production update on season 3. Yes, we're right in the middle of production. Yes, we've wrapped Wales. We're moving on to some huge things now that we've got going at the studio and then other locations. that we're working on. So we've moved into that part of the schedule. So yeah, it gets pretty nuts here through July and August. So I will be rushing off to set tomorrow to do some the beginning of some insane things that we're doing this month. But yeah, we're kind of right in the middle, in the thick of it, and it's going great. I mean, the season is just goddamn huge. I mean, every day I walk around there and look at the things that we're building and the things that we're doing and the number of costumes and extras and all that. And I knew it was bigger than season 2, but I don't think I realized quite how much
every now and then I'm lucky enough that Ryan sends me a little, like a still or a video, a little clip of something, and it's overwhelming. I mean, like, just like it's like really insane in a wonderful way. So yeah, really, really cool. Stephen Withers, thank you. Melissa, I am going to win you back now by agreeing with you. The false idol painting, I think it's going to be sort of out of my range, but I think it is just effing incredible. I think I love Montagna as well. I've looked at other pieces by him, more of his black and white stuff. I've not seen as much of his color stuff, but just in the illustration auctions and things. I've always been a fan. I've never quite pulled the trigger. This piece is just insanely incredible. And it's
Are you keeping an eye on it?
I've got it marked. I mean, I am tracking it, but I just don't see it not going.
That's in the in the DeMille catalog.
Yes, that's on the 15th. It's just really, really incredible. It's I don't know what the numbers. I'm sorry. It's if you keep, it's the Montagna.
That's the correct
keep
artist.
Going. If you go to the next Montagna, maybe that's a study for it, but that's not it. I don't know where it is. Anyway, it's truly, truly incredible. Well, let's not. Oh, there it is. Yep, that's it. That is it. I just think it's insane. They're starting it at 8. I don't know if there's. I hadn't looked recently at my track lots if there's a bid or if there's action on it yet. But I just think it's truly, truly gorgeous, and really epic, biblical, all those things you want from Cecil B. DeMille. Balerion the Dread, I'm going to say this, and I'm not even sure I've talked about this with Ryan, but I will just simply say, sit tight. You may have a pleasant surprise coming up later this year, and I'll leave it at that. But you can maybe put 2 and 2 together a little bit with where am I mentioning this and who's sponsoring and whatnot, and I'm going to shut the F up at that point. So sit tight.
Valerian was asking about Kurosawa movies and props and what happened to all of them. So there you go. You teaser. You heard it here first.
I know. What do you think Dave, I should be buying? Yes, other than the Elf.
I go to something simpler for you. I go to 89485. This is very achievable. I think this thing is good, and I think you should be going for it. I think the story is right on it. I think the photos that you showed me line up enough. I think this is right. I don't think that, I think this is what it's supposed to be. And I think you've been looking for Godfather stuff. This is totally the right thing. I think you should be on. I think you should.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll be very honest to everyone. The discussion that I've been having with Ryan, I was going to bring this up on the next lot of things we're actually bidding on, because it's definitely something I'm thinking about. The thing that I'm having is, and I'm not even looking for a full on screen match. I've just been trying to look through behind the scenes footage from Godfather Part 2, and the best I've come up with is sort of there's two shots, one where a clapper is sort of laying on its side and you can kind of see the white and the blacks match up, and then there's another one where a guy has it under his arm. None of it's from the Italy section. It all seems to be from the actual film, from the main part shot in the United States as opposed to the Italy section. But I mean, it's kind of there. It just, the lack of the lack of a definitive, here is a picture. And again, I'm not talking about the L3, but to see like Italy, or to be able to see the way they wrote Gordon Willis or Coppola or any of that things. And I know this is going to sound stupid, to see that they wrote a Roman numeral 2 and not a 2. I don't know. I'm making these things up. So it's not that I'm looking for a screen match, although a screen match would be incredible, or a photo match. but I guess I've been trying to find something that locks it in a little bit in for me. But I'll certainly be a player, I think, up to a point. I just don't think I'm going to go crazy. Like I said, my research so far pretty good. I wish it was a little more definitive. And again, I am not suspecting foul play per se. It's just a clapper is one of the easier things. One of the easier things that I think it's one of the easier things to fake, unfortunately. And again, that's not about this piece in particular. I just mean we have become
a thing with clappers.
We have seen it with other movies. Usually they are terrible a lot of times, although there has been one of those Jaws ones that looks like it was faked at some point, and that really fucking sucks. And again, ruining the hobby a little bit. And so I have my eye on this. What else did you have for me, or was that?
Well, Dave, if that doesn't work out, something that is very real, it's 89682. That you should be bidding on. It's the greatest Western pistol of all time from the greatest Western of all time, the Hero Buntline revolver from.
I want to stump it. I'm going to bid on it right now so I can be outbid, but I can say I was the bidder. For a while, but I love this movie. I think if I were actually going to spend money, it would probably be. I don't know, whatever Doc Holliday, although I'm sure it's less bespoke or whatever, but I don't know. It just
the bird's head revolver is very cool that he has. They're like pearl handles and silver revolvers, and there's one with the bird's head sort of shape to it, so it's kind of this hawksbill shape. The other one's just sort of a normal single action, but that makes it kind of unique, and those are very cool. But they just don't have this has the 2-wider, the badge that's inlaid into the handle and all that, all that fun stuff.
The good people of Dodge City, very nice. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I should be bidding on it. I should. Yeah.
You should bid right now. And then in terms of things you actually are bidding on, I left the other thing out that I was going to tell you to bid on because I know you're going to say that you're bidding on it. So
yeah, my baby piece, if you will, is 89585, I believe, which I think I mentioned when we went by it the first time.
89485.
89585.
585, sorry.
Which is the Delta City poster from the first RoboCop. If I get this at a very reasonable number, I'd love to just have this, just because I love I love the sort of in-movie poster, if you will, of it all. So I really do love it.
That's it there.
Jason, yeah, that's it right there on the bottom. Right. Yeah, right there. So it's like I said, it's the Delta City piece. I love the idea of it. I don't have anything from RoboCop except obviously the one we talked about, the one call sheet. I'd love to have something from RoboCop, but this might do for a bit. And I just, like I said, I love that, normally I want things where people kind of actually can recognize it in a second, but I kind of love the idea of something that only a RoboCop fan would recognize, and I do kind of dig this for that reason. And then the other piece, and people are sort of talking about, Melissa brings it up and whatnot, going to the the Bob Peak collection. The son is Tom Peak. The Bob Peak collection, if you go back one from there, just one back, up, two back, nope, three back, one more back. Yeah, there you go.
Yes, there you go.
There you go. It's the Excalibur piece, which has a starting bid of $40,000, and I really love it. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. I love this poster. I had this poster. I didn't have the poster up, but I had a postcard of this movie poster in my freshman dorm room that I bought at the old Jerry Orlinger's movie picture shop in New York City, which I don't know if it's still there or not, but was a great place in New York City that used to be able to buy old posters and film stills and whatnot. And they had these postcards, and I had an Excalibur one, and I just love it. And I guess I'm sorry to say I'm going to chase it. I don't think I think it's going to go higher than I want it to go, but I will give it a run. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I will get lucky. The problem here, I will say, is I also really like the Comfort of Strangers poster, which I think is a beautiful piece of art, less of a well-known movie. Unfortunately, it comes first, and so that always is a little bit of a problem in terms of strategy, because obviously I sort of don't want to buy this at a reasonable number and then have less room to maneuver on the Excalibur. But then, of course, when I lose the Excalibur, I will regret having not tried to get this one, which I do just love. So anyway, that is my conundrum, depending on when you're listening to this, of where we are in the next couple of days. I unfortunately think the Excalibur is going to go over 100,000. I think it's enough of a cult movie, and I'm not sure. And by the way, great for the Bob Peak market, great for Tom Peak and the Peak family. More power to you. I'm just not sure I'm going to spend that much. I love it, but I'm just not sure I'm going to go over that. That may be my break line, unfortunately.
Yeah. I don't really have any. I mean, there are a couple of very small things. I might look at that penguin if it doesn't go very high, just because I think it would delight my daughter. There's a couple of small things, nothing really big, unless I actually win it. For me, I have a large debt that I need to pay off to a different auction house that I'm hoping I can raise some funds at this tombstone and get back to even before the next auction comes around. I think there's some wonderful stuff in this auction. It's just nothing that I desperately need.
But it is an interesting thing. I will point out, as a seller, I think you made, and obviously we are friends with all the various auction houses except perhaps studio auctions, but and now maybe not golden auctions. But I will say, I think your strategy of putting this here with all apologies to all the other auction houses that we know and like, I think in particular their historical section, their Wild West sort of auctions, their gun auctions in general, and that crossover does make this the right place. And I do think sometimes you can have a favorite auction house, but I think sometimes the piece needs to dictate the auction house, and it may not be your favorite auction house, or maybe your favorite auction house. This is not about favorites. I guess what I'm saying is I do think certain pieces sell better at certain auction houses, and I think that is, I'm sure the auction houses would tacitly admit it, and this is the right spot for this, and I think in a really smart way. And it is something to think about when anybody is selling anything. I do think certain places are better, and we've seen it both in results and in our own sales. It's just a truism. So wherever that fits in, I guess is the answer.
Yep, correct. And while I just didn't want to lose track of it, Frank Berman had asked about the Nostromo jacket in there. I think some people looked at it and had questions. There's been a bunch of, like, we don't think it's fake, but there's been a bunch of sort of prototype, I guess, alien material it's right there. It's the Lambert jacket. And I think somebody looked at this and just, like, things weren't quite as they should be per the movie. But look, no one's faking this piece, so it's got to be something. There's just been alien wardrobe specifically that has been, like, slightly off, and we think that there was probably a round of prototype stuff that went through. I think it's the only, because that's a found jacket. I guess the pouches are just put on, so maybe they were experimenting with different kinds of jackets. I don't really have an answer for it, but I know that people were in my inner UK collecting circle were very excited about that piece, and I think took a look at it, and there were enough questions about it that it just felt like it's production piece or a prototype or something like that versus the screen matched Lambert jacket. So that was the read from the alien experts that I know, and those guys are pretty thorough.
Any other questions or anything anybody's into or want to shout out that they're interested in? The hesitation of the Superman miniature, I do think they know that those things have been restored. You don't know what the level of restoration was, but I don't know, but I understand. And again, this is where it gets hard. It's like, with a lot of these pieces, like, doesn't mean it's not from production, but is it what it says it is? And we just don't know the level of restoration on this filming miniature. I guess that's where I would leave it. I don't know what that means, is the honest answer. So I think, again, how does one say this? At the closer to the starting bid of $2,000, maybe that's not a bad price for not a perfect match, but something from the movie. At $100,000, maybe you're looking for the perfect match, and everybody has to figure out where they want that line for themselves.
Yeah, and what they need the piece to be right.
Exactly, what they need the piece to be. Exactly. but
It isn't the
I
piece
understand
that
it. Yeah.
you need, but it is the piece you deserve. I don't know.
Or
There's
it's
some
or unfortunately it's the piece that's in front of you. So wherever that fits in. Dave Wetzel is interested in the Blade Runner vehicle blueprints. I thought those were very cool.
Those are cool.
89554. Those are really neat. Also another very reasonable starting bid. So hopefully that goes. Is this where you get your Brown Derby? Actually, really, you've lost on
cool.
3 previous ones.
That's Brent Lowe. You gotta get it. Just go.
You gotta
for
go
it.
for it. Yes,
go
you gotta go
man.
for it. Yeah,
those are very, very cool. I love that, the old Hollywood ephemera, the menus and things like that. I think somebody gave me a Brown Derby menu at some point. I think that I have somewhere in my files, which I really enjoyed.
I had a copy of, they were like, I don't know if it was like a litho of like some of the caricatures of the directors that used to be on the Brown Derby wall. I had like, someone gave me like a Fritz Lang and something else. It was very cool. Brian Peck mentioned you used to have an Indie Whip. Do you still have one? I do indeed. I actually at some point, as all things in my collection, I had 3 of them. I had one with a Harrison Ford letter from a charity auction. I had one from stuntman Vic Armstrong, who was the main stuntman for Harrison Ford on the 3 films. And then I had the one that I kept, which came with the hat and jacket from Last Crusade, and that I was ultimately able to screen match, actually photo match. And so I do have one. I got rid of the other 2. I got rid of one of them early on at some point, and then got rid of the second one, which was the I had gotten rid of the Harrison Ford one first, and then held on to the Vic Armstrong one because I thought it was a better whip with more usage, and then let that one go. So there's your answer. So yeah,
there's your answer.
Alrighty, well, maybe
that's
wrap
a show.
it up. Yeah, that's a show and change. Thank you everyone for joining us as always. This thing will be one of the shows released to the general public this week, but there will be 2 other ones, so look for both of those before the auction. One will be the interview with Joe Dante, and what's the other one? Is the other one Tom Peake?
Thomas Peake.
So we got Tom Peake, that's the son of Bob Peake, and he's the one responsible for putting this stuff into the auction. We got to talk to him all about his father's career, which was really fascinating, about the pieces. And then another one with director extraordinaire Joe Dante. So both were very
really
fun for us guest wise. So thank you guys. Yeah.
And then Dave and I are recording a bunch of episodes this week, so we really have a bunch of great stuff coming your way. Some fun discussions that aren't just paging through a prop catalog for a little bit.
But if you are interested, by the way, I was going to also say, check out the YouTube channel, because Bart's been just uploading videos from my visit to Heritage in Beverly Hills, where they had a tremendous amount of pieces on display, and we tried to at least hold them up and look through a bunch of them. So there might be something, if you're interested in, you might get to see it. But those things are kind of flying out fast and furious, maybe perhaps even too fast and furious. But anyway, check those out as well. And as always, follow us on social media, et cetera,
at Props Podcast. Write us Dreams Are Made of podcast. dreamsareMadeOfPodcast@gmail.com. And I just want a special shout out. Great thanks to Jason Kim, who very kindly stepped in tonight from the Felix Comic Art Podcast. So this is a comic art crossover, helping us out because Bart was away and we needed to do a live episode. And Dave and I have our streaming Luddites. So it's just we needed a help from an adult, and Jason swooped in and did it. So a big thank you to him.
I mean, one might argue this worked. This was sort of smoother and better than when Bart's here. So I don't know, something to think about.
I think we can do without him, frankly. Let's see what Jason's rates are like. But yeah, lots of stuff Dreams Are Made of to come in this week and the coming weeks. Watch the auction, write us after the auction, tell us what you won.
Yeah, let us know if you won something, because we're always excited about that. I mean, honestly, we like telling the auction house when our viewers win something, but also we get a real kick out of finding out what you guys actually win or fight for or lose or any of those kinds of things. So thank you.
Yeah, there you go. See you next time.
Here's our new sign off. Mwah!